All right, Giovanna, I'd say it's good time to get started. I'll stop the share so you can start.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. So thank you everyone for joining. This is a very informal session that is aimed at getting a feeling of how humane is directly from our students. So joining here today, we have Andrew, Taylor, Nathaniel, and Giacomo. They will introduce themselves in a moment. I am Giovanna Guidoboni. I am the Dean of the college. And then here we have Mohammed, Associate Dean, and Chris, who is our Director in Marketing and Communication. So we thought to organize this session as follows. So after a quick round again of introduction on our side, I will go through a few slides summarizing the various programs and activities that we have in the college. After that, our students will introduce themselves to you and as I said, kind of say a little bit about their experience at UMaine. And then we will open it for questions so that you can ask directly to our students how it is to join UMaine. So let us go around quickly. Andrew?
Hello, my name is Andrew Zarnecki. I am a junior at the University of Maine, and I am in the College of Construction and Engineering Technologies. Yeah, basically I chose UMaine, one, because of their program. It stands out well between all the other universities around. It's ABAT accredited, so it allows me to become a professional engineer. And I also like how UMaine, in my degree, has very small classes and a good ratio between teacher and students, allowing for a very good relationship between every faculty member in the department.
Thank you, Andrew. Giacomo?
Hello, my name is Giacomo Pellizzari. I am a junior mechanical engineer here at the University of Maine. I could say, I'm also minoring in robotics as well. I could say the University of Maine is definitely a go-to university when it comes to engineering. They have a lot of facilities that help you learn during your 4 years of college, but not only in class, but also it gives you job opportunities as well that will help you with job searches when you get off campus. So definitely a great university for engineering.
Thank you, Giacomo. Nathaniel?
Hello, I'm Nathaniel Krebs. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering student. I came to UMaine because I'm in state. It's a great price for an engineering degree. And also I just, it's a great campus. It's very walkable, and I just really like the atmosphere.
Thank you. Taylor?
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm a freshman here at UMaine, and I'm studying electrical engineering. The reason why I chose UMaine is the class sizes. I was able to actually have a one-on-one with the Dean of Electrical Engineering, which I found quite special. I talked to him on Tuesday, and he still remembered my name, which I found quite crazy. I'm from PA, so if I went to Penn State or another big college like Pitt, I wouldn't have been able to have that kind of experience, which I find quite special.
Thank you, Taylor. Mohammed?
Yes, I'm Mohammed Musavi, Associate Dean of the College of Engineering. Thank you, Giovanna.
And Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris Carlin. I'm the communication specialist and marketing person in the dean's office.
Thank you. So can you bring up the slides, please? So here are a few slides about our college. Can you move to the next slide? Okay, so this is kind of a series of pictures that I like to show to really summarize what our vision is for a degree. It should not be just a destination. So the goal is not just to get a piece of paper or put your flag on the top of the mountain. It should really be the beginning. So it should really be building all the knowledge and skills that will enable you really to take off and go with your career wherever you want to go. So it is learning skills, both technical skills as well as soft skills, communication skills, how to work together with people from different disciplines, so that you learn how to learn, because no degree will enable you to know everything you will need to know for the rest of your life. So really what our goal is to help you to learn throughout your life and being open and being able to work with others in order to really being able to solve the big problems that our society faces. Can you move to the next slide, please? So here are a list of quick facts about our college. If you have been to previous meetings, you may have already seen this. This college has quite a history. So it started in 1865. We have approximately 2,000 students in the college, including approximately 1,700 undergraduates and 300 grad students. As it was mentioned earlier, by our students here on the panel, it is what we would call a mid-sized college, which means that it is big enough to have access to big and cutting-edge facilities where you can have hands-on experiences in various programs and of various types. But at the same time, it is small enough that you can have really a individual relationship. You're not just a number, or you're not just a student. You can have the support and the interactions that are really needed to thrive. Also, as it was mentioned earlier, it is a college that has fully ABET accredited programs, which is very important as you then will go in the job market after your degree. And out of the various things that are listed here, I would like to point out the importance of being an R1 research institution. UMaine is the only R1 institution in the state of Maine. And basically what this means is that it has been officially recognized as a very high research institution, which means that as you are learning the content of the technical skills in your programs, you will also have opportunities to challenge yourself with problems that no one has solved yet. That is what research is about, not focusing only on what we already know, but trying to use what we know to find solutions to new problems. And so we have, during our programs, the opportunity to have research learning experiences, or as an undergrad, you could have an internship in a lab and enjoying research that our faculty conduct, as well as conducting research outside. So the fact that we are an R1 institution really positions ourselves and our students to be able to already kind of grow with this mentality that is related to what I showed earlier. So the fact that the degree is not meant to be just one package and it ends there, but it is really aimed at stimulating the scientific curiosity and the problem solving kind of attitude. Okay, can we go to the next slide? We have several degrees and our students here are representing some of them. In particular, we have engineering degrees listed here: biomedical, chemical, civil and environmental, computer, electrical, engineering, physics, and mechanical engineering. And we also have engineering technology degrees. And the difference, so in that, sorry, we have construction, electrical, mechanical, and surveying. And so the difference between engineering and engineering technologies degrees is that the first one focuses more on the theories and the designs, whereas the second one, in the engineering technology degrees, really are aimed at bringing the theories and designs into application. And so both are very important aspects of engineering, and here you could experience them both. Can you move to the next slide? Internship and co-ops are a very important aspect of our educational path, because anyway, as I was saying earlier, we would like our graduates not only to be strong on the technical skills that they learn in the classroom, but also be exposed to kind of the real world and what it means to actually bring these skills to fruition in a work environment or in a research environment. So over 80% of our students actually take advantage of these co-op or internship opportunities. And here is just a list, not exhaustive, of the various companies in which our students were able to get internships. Can you move to the next slide? So as I said, this is just a quick overview. Very happy to go through more details if you would like to know more. Here are some important dates for visits to our campuses or the deadline for confirmation. I would really like to stop here, though, the kind of formal presentation and really open it up for questions. This session is meant to be more of a conversation than really a formal presentation. So I thank you for being here. And I now open the session for questions.
So folks can post questions into the Q&A chat function or raise your hand and I will allow you to talk. I just unmuted two folks, so we have Charlie and Banjo. They want to go ahead and ask a question?
Yes, good afternoon, Dane and everyone, and thanks for this opportunity to join the Zoom. Please, I want to find out, are there scholarship opportunities within the department, most especially for year one students?
Can you repeat what would you like to know for year one students? Did you ask whether there are opportunities for students in the first year to be engaged in activities within the department? Was this your question?
Well, thank you, because you also opened me up to further questions. The first one is, are there scholarship opportunities within the department? I mean, the School of Engineering for year one? And then also, are there opportunities for year one students to be engaged, for example, to work within the department upon resumption?
Any
I can answer that.
students? Go ahead.
No, sorry. So for electrical engineering, I know like for electrical engineering, you can get scholarships. So at the end of this past semester, we were sent out an email saying that there were scholarships. I don't know what it's like for other departments. But with electrical engineering, they do send out a bunch of emails saying there are scholarships open. You can take a look into these. And for jobs on campus, I had a friend who literally just walked up to my 101 professor at the beginning of last semester and just asked, could I work for you? And the 101 professor said yes. His name is Sheaf. That's the professor's name. And he's very nice and approachable. I'm pretty sure you can do that with other professors as well. So it's not just secluded to one person. You can pretty much just go up to any other professor and ask, hey, do you want me to help you with research? Can I help you with some research? Or can I just work for you? So there's many options on campus, I feel as though, just to help out in some way.
Right, thanks, Taylor.
Thank you. Charlie, if you want to go now, Charlie Desart.
Any other students wants to jump in on that question? This is Mohammed Musavi. Well, if not, go ahead.
Oh, I can jump in.
Go ahead.
In the biomedical engineering department, freshmen are more than welcome to usually join multiple labs. And I think Professor Mason, Professor Howell, and Carissa Tilbury, Dr. Tilbury, she also has a lab that most of the time as freshmen, you're pretty accepted. I wouldn't like, you might not be doing the most advanced work, but they'll definitely teach you and ease you into more advanced things. So as a freshman, usually you're taught how to do the more advanced things over time. And it's actually better your freshman year to get into a research lab, because then you have more opportunity to be doing more advanced research your sophomore, junior, and senior year, because you have more experience. So sort of the best thing to do is actually get into a research lab your freshman year so you can be doing more advanced research by the time you graduate. It also looks better that way.
I also say a few words regarding scholarships. Yes, the answer is yes. Our scholarships are managed by the Office of Financial Aid. For new students, you don't need to apply, and you are evaluated based on your qualifications, and scholarships are awarded. For current students, and of course, if they do their work, you can get satisfy the conditions, and the scholarship will continue through the 4 years of their education here. For those who are current students and improve their performance, and as one of our students said, they are notified and they can apply for scholarships. Regarding jobs, again, what one of our students said is completely applies. At some time in the past, I was a professor myself, and if a student came to my office and said, I'm looking a job in your research area, I asked a few questions, and if I felt that they were qualified and can do the job, I hired them. I looked at their qualification, not necessarily what I wanted to give them, because it's important that they be qualified and also be hardworking. So, and again, this applies to all our faculty members. So I'm going to stop here and give time to others to join in the conversation.
Real quick, I would like to answer. Sorry, I would like to answer one of the questions in the chat lively. An anonymous attendee said within the department, it is relatively easy or common for a student to switch concentrations. I'm a construction engineering major, or a construction engineering technology major. I started freshman year as a civil engineer, and I am still on track to do 4 years or graduate in 4 years. It was quite easy for me to change concentrations. I would say that is a concentration. By talking to your advisors, everyone in the department is very helpful. And the one advice I would say is it's very simple early on, just because each department has their own curriculum. So potentially if you get all the way to junior year and you're like, I want to change from civil engineering to mechanical engineering, that's a pretty big jump. So that's not easy. But going from, I'm sure the mechanical engineering students could talk, but from the construction side, going from civil to construction is very easy, and vice versa, from construction to civil is very easy.
Perfect. So we have a question coming in from Rebecca. Let's see, what courses should we expect in our first semester? So if one of the students would like to take that one.
I can answer that. So for my mechanical engineering major, I started with a heavily CAD classes, heavily inclined into CAD and MATLAB, which is basically a programming tool that you will use in your engineering for a lot in your engineering department. And a lot of intro classes. So obviously intro to engineering, but also HVSC electives. So intro to anthropology that you can pick, or intro to psychology. But in regards of mechanical engineering, you'll find a lot of classes with MATLAB and CAD, computer design.
Excellent. Taylor, you're on mute, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I couldn't get the space bar working. I was like, I can answer that for electrical engineering perspective as well. Like it all depends on also how you do with different courses. So what was it for electrical engineering? I had to do chemistry first semester, Calc 1, intro to electrical engineering 101 and 100. And that's just kind of what I had to do because I had to take the math placement exam because I didn't take AP credit. I didn't have any AP credits to transfer over for mathematics. So I ended up taking what's like kind of like a standard first semester for electrical engineering, as all my friends were essentially in the same kind of boat as me, taking Calc 1 and then intro to electrical engineering you have to take. But with chemistry, you can pass, you can skip that by having AP credits of some kind.
Excellent. We're going to let Michael Marr ask his question here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so I guess my question is, like you said, there's pretty good one-on-one time with the teachers and interacting and stuff. How are they with, like, if you're having a hard time understanding a concept, with helping you figure it out, or like the tutoring centers and all that kind of stuff?
I can answer this one. I know that as a mechanical engineering student, a lot of classes are larger than some of the other majors, or sorry, of the other engineering majors. But that being said, all of my professors have been very approachable and very kind to me when I've asked questions, even very large lectures like Physics 121, which is probably about close to 200 students. And I actually work as a tutor for the university. And I know that, you know, tutoring is fairly accessible, and there are multiple different programs for your specific needs, and as well as your specific majors. So
I'm gonna add on to that as well. As me and Taylor said, or Taylor and I said, the reason I came to UMaine is one, because of the class size and the student to faculty ratio. When it comes to tutoring, there are many resources to do one-on-one tutoring with other students, maybe a grad student or a senior trying to tutor a freshman, but the faculty are also there. It may not be specific tutoring, but there's definitely extra help. In my major, construction engineering, there's a lot of times in different areas throughout the day where you can go to the teacher's office, walk right in. Everyone has a smile on their face and you can just ask for help. They're gonna draw down on a whiteboard or help you. It may not be a student to student tutor, but it's definitely extra help.
All right, perfect. We got a good question come in here. Basically about undeclared engineering, with the person leaning towards civil. When and how do classes get selected, and when will they have to declare what major they want to stick with?
I can potentially answer it. I think a faculty member might have to answer the part of the question on when freshmen get their schedule, because I personally don't remember. Coming in undeclared, I feel like that is a great way. I mean, coming in undeclared is pretty good as long as you have some sort of idea where you want to go, because then you get to feel everything. I came in declared and quickly changed, and I feel like if I went undeclared and got a feel around the different majors, I would have had a better experience. But I feel it's definitely easy to go undeclared, get all your gen eds done, feel out the major you want. Like you said, you want to go into civil, but as you feel it out, you may not want to go to civil. So it's very easy to be undeclared. There should be no stress about it. And there's a lot of resources to help you make that decision when it's time.
Adding on to that. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I came in undeclared and I declared at the end of my first semester. The major distinction that I've noticed between coming in undeclared and versus declared is I had to take chemistry for my first semester, because I believe that's required for all engineering majors. So they replaced that with my CAD class for mechanical engineering, and that definitely helped a lot, and it made it so that I could stay on track even declaring, I believe, in second semester, I could have declared then and stayed undeclared engineering about that.
In the comments, Nathaniel answered one of them, but I would like to answer a question. Is there a computer we should buy for our students before they get there? So I'm sure the mechanical engineering students could answer even more in depth. There is definitely a computer you should buy, not a specific one, but there's a list that's given out and advice given out. Basically, a Windows processing computer, or computer of any sort. I am a construction engineer, and a bunch of my classes, we use things like Bluebeam, CAD, AutoCAD, different surveying softwares that you need that don't run on Mac. So basically, an Apple computer, you can't rely just on an Apple computer. If your son already has an Apple computer, you're going to need to purchase another one. You need a Windows operating computer of some kind. There's definitely a lot of guidance on specific specs. And if you're declared, you definitely want to talk to someone within your major that has specific specs that you should get. But there definitely is a computer that you need to buy.
A really good point to that, actually. So I would recommend Dell or HP. And some more specifics to that is usually you want about 16 gigabytes of RAM and a pretty good CPU. So if you look up online, if you look up good computers for engineering, actually that's a great resource if you just go to Google and do that, because they'll give you pretty good advice on what computers to get. And I'm not gonna lie here, you're going to want to get a good computer. You're not gonna want to cheap out, because getting a good computer that will last you 4 years will be highly beneficial, because you don't want your computer crapping the bed halfway through college. And if you go for a less a computer that isn't too like high standards, you're generally going to get poor performance, and it's going to be harder to complete assignments, especially if you're working with CAD, SolidWorks. And so in biomedical engineering, we use some COMSOL and MATLAB, which require a pretty good processor and a lot of RAM. So usually there's some minimum requirements. If you just look up like what those specific programs need, you can generally get by on those specific components.
So I'm going to add real quick. I was fortunate enough to go to a high school that was pretty tech savvy. I was on a computer every day. And in high school, I didn't go through a lot of programs. So I did have a Mac. And a lot of kids nowadays, potentially, you may have already bought a Mac. And as a parent or someone, you may be like, oh, I have to buy another computer. But like Caleb was saying, it's definitely worth spending the money once. I know I've had quite a few arguments with my mother as a normal student, is because I already had my Mac. So we spent a lot of money. And then when I told her I needed to buy a Windows operating computer to run software, she necessarily didn't understand. But I had to spend that money off the freshman year and do it once. And I bought a really nice computer, and I'm a junior, and that has 10 plus years left on it if you treat it right. I mean, one thing I do that saves my computer is I carry my Mac all day, every day, and take all my notes and do everything on that. And when I have a class that needs a software, that's the only thing I use on my other computer. So if you're fortunate enough to do that, or if you've already bought your student a computer, you can buy another computer and save it for specific programs.
Perfect. I posted a link in the chat as well. If folks, a link to our bookstore, we have information about computers as well. Let's see.
I can answer a question. Sorry, I am unfortunately going to have to take off, but I am going to answer one last question I saw in the chat. Freshman living options, is it more beneficial to be living on campus in dorms or living off campus apartments? So as a freshman, I believe UMaine mandatory is 1 year on campus. So as a freshman, you are going to be in a dorm. I quickly transitioned off campus to other housing, but there is no real benefit. I mean, it's all about you. I know many friends that have stayed on campus as sophomores in dorms, and then junior year, they're in DTAB or Patch, which is the on-campus apartment style living. And it's all based on your student. I mean, off campus allows you to live more independently and view others and have roommates and share all those like benefits. But basically, there is no real big benefit. I mean, I have plenty, like I said, I have plenty of friends that are on campus, and I'm a junior and I'm off campus. So it's really just how you feel benefits yourself. One thing I will add that is a plus for UMaine versus a lot of other universities is we do get a car freshman year and all years, and it's relatively cheap. And having a car as a freshman is very beneficial.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. So we have a question. Is it difficult to sustain activities outside of engineering like sports or ROTC?
I'll answer that question real quick. So I'm actually part of Greek Life, as well as part of the University of Ski team, and as well as part of the Interfraternity Council. So, and also doing my own research. So if you have the skills to put some time aside after your schedule, then you definitely have time to do anything really if you are able to organize yourself. Your first semester freshman year is probably going to be the toughest out of all the 4 years, in all honesty. And I would just leave that first semester, focus on your studies, focus on organizing your days, get a rhythm going, and then your second semester, then I would just start joining clubs, joining more activities. But we do also have a rec center as well. So if you want to play, I don't know, basketball or go play indoor soccer or just go to gym, it's open till 11 p.m. So, and I go to the gym usually from 10 to 11. So there's more than enough time in your day to do extracurricular activities.
Excellent. Okay, question, are the co-ops included in the 4 years or is it an additional year? And
I can answer this one.
Sure.
So in the biomedical engineering department, what happens is we actually have a specific time slots available for co-ops, and the classes actually sort of go with the co-ops. So you'll be taking online classes while doing the co-ops. So it is a little bit difficult. It will be pretty hard to manage that time, but at least for biomedical engineering, we actually build the co-ops into the curriculum if you do it, if you decide to take a co-op. And there are a lot of summer internships that are a little bit nicer if you don't want to have to take classes while also working during the semester.
Here's a good general one. If some of the students can speak to some of their highlights so far, and if there have been any challenges, either, you know, kind of with classes or personal or anything like that, you feel like sharing.
I can answer this one.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Yeah, I can answer this one. So I guess for like a challenge, it's kind of more just like balancing it. But as I found out as a freshman with the first semester, it was pretty easy to like quickly find a balance as you can sort of plan out your dates. You only have like about 15 hours of classes every single week. And within that week, you also get recitations and labs. And the labs and recitations, I highly think of as they are very helpful to me trying to get an understanding in mathematics and with my physics class. So definitely like go to those and make sure that you're paying attention, as they have been very helpful. But again, like a challenge has definitely been during the first semester, just trying to balance out my workload and figure out when can I have time to myself, when do I have to be full on focusing with my work. But definitely a highlight has to have been the, in particular, a class I'm taking right now, the ballooning class for electrical engineers, as that's something that's pretty incredible as you're doing your own research and actually getting in-field experience as to how to create something. And it ends up being more like a job than anything else, or feeling a job, as that's kind of the steps you have to take to as an engineer with designing.
So I was just gonna say, like I had said previously, I had to take chemistry for a semester, and So that was paralleled with my Physics 121 class, which is just Physics 1, calculus-based Physics 1. And so those are both lab science classes, so about 6 hours a week for both of them. And so that really, as an undeclared major, it was a lot of work. And so that was probably one of my biggest challenges. It was just kind of getting the motivation to show up to that much time for classes each week. And then on top of that, doing my schoolwork for each of those. But I would just, as a recommendation, just the biggest thing is showing up to class every day, and it's really helpful. And then just studying every night, do a little bit, anything, and that will definitely help you throughout this pathway.
I can say a few things. So some challenges that an engineer might face are probably going to be second year, sophomore year classes. Those generally end up being a little bit more time investing. They tend to be your harder math classes, and your engineering classes end up getting a little bit more specified. Because your first year, you generally take all of your general requirements like chemistry, math, like Calc 1, Calc 2, Chem 1, Chem 2, Physics 1, Physics 2. And then your sophomore year, you take more specialized classes for your major. And I have a minor in electrical engineering and a minor in mathematics, along with biomedical engineering. And I can say that sophomore year classes are probably going to be a challenge, and to sort of negate that challenge is definitely going to be taking your time and trying to understand the material outside of class along with in class. And definitely some cool things are when you get to your junior and senior year, you do more project-based engineering, and you get to make things, and you really get to get everything that you've learned from your first two years and apply it somewhere. And you end up having really cool projects by the end of college.
Excellent. Let's see here. As a transfer student, is there special housing if I want to live on campus, save money, or would I be placed into dorms with freshmen?
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. I don't know why it's not showing up, but so I was a transfer student over to UMaine, and I transferred over. So I took my freshman year in Maryland, and I'm a sophomore now. And I'm not an expert on this actually because I ended up living home right now, but I do know that there is upperclassmen housing on campus where you wouldn't be put with the other freshmen, and you'd be with like mainly other transfer students who are living on campus or who want to live on campus, or like any upperclassmen, I'm pretty sure, are able to apply and get that kind of housing. And it's right there, like near all the classes. It's near the dining halls, and like it's near the it's pretty close to the student union as well for food and all that. So yeah, that's a pretty good option, I would say.
Excellent. Is there opportunity for a freshman to do research in a specific topic they want, or do they have to join already started research?
I can answer this one. You can do research in something you like, but what's going to probably happen is we may not have exactly what you want, but a topic or field of research that you might be interested in which you can do research in. The kind of the pro to being a freshman is that you're probably not going to get highly specific in that field as a freshman, but you'll be introduced to it. And hopefully by your sophomore or junior year, you can be put on things that are a little bit more specific to what you like. And that sort of comes with like any job, you're not going to be hired and put on something that requires a lot of sort of time and effort. If you're new, something that more specific, they're probably going to put you on something so that you learn how to do it. And then after that, you can then get more specified in what you want to do. So yes, you can get into some fields that you are interested in, might not be super specific to exactly what you want to do.
I could also follow up on that. So I worked for under the Center of Undergraduate Research, also known as Cougar. Usually there's your sophomore or junior year. They will provide like a sort of a scholarship where they can finance a research idea that you have. So for example, my sophomore year during the summer, I worked under a professor in the rheology department, and I had an idea in mind. I proposed it to the Cougar program, and the panel accepted my proposal, and they gave me, I think, $3,200 to work on my research, which included also on a separate note, also like a weekly pay, a bi-weekly pay. So you can find the research opportunities on campus and also off campus. It's that the problem is you have to find somebody like a professor or an advisor that would be able to follow you and would be interested also in working with you as well.
Perfect. Are freshmen given their schedule, or do they have to select classes if undeclared engineering? I think they're asking, what is kind of the freshman schedule like if you're an undeclared student?
Chris, I could
I
not
might be
hear.
able to.
I couldn't hear the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was basically what is the schedule like for an undeclared freshman? What kind of classes are they taking?
I can speak to that. Basically, they would be taking Calculus 1, Calculus 2, Physics 1, Physics 2, Chemistry 1, and Composition or English 101, and a couple of Human Values and Social Context courses. Those are the courses that are the same for all engineering. So that you would be prepared to any other engineering that you decide or any major you decide to go at the end of December or at the end of May. So with that, I'm gonna have other students to jump in if they wanna make other comments.
So usually, I think this goes for all engineers. It's your core classes, your freshman year. You don't get very specified in individual classes that you probably want to take because there's prereqs, and most engineering classes have those prereqs of Physics 1, Physics 2, Calc 1, Calc 2, and Calc 3, which are generally taken your freshman and then sophomore fall semester year. And undeclared, generally, because I almost went into undeclared and then I switched, but I got to see my schedule. And it's general gen eds for engineering. So mainly math and your core science classes.
I would say that the biggest difference between a person who goes to one of our majors and undeclared is 2 or 3 courses specific to the major that they won't be taking because they are undeclared. However, the nature of these 2 or 3 courses are such that you can take them in the second year or other semesters without losing any time. So you still can finish in 4 years if you transfer to your major in the first year. And in fact, sometimes if you are leaning toward one major, but you are not sure, we tell you, okay, take a course, take a course in that major, so at least you get a taste of it. And if you don't end up going to that major, any other major that you go will accept that course.
Perfect. So let's do, can someone kind of explain perhaps the difference between internships and co-ops, and maybe a little bit more in depth if anyone's had a co-op so far?
I can kind of explain that as I have kind of divulged and I've gone into that rabbit hole. With internships, it's more so just kind of like you're there for a little bit. So they're quite similar, I'd say. But the co-op, you're going to be there for a long amount of time, and it will end up kind of being your job. So you will actually have to have a kind of a school life and a job life, and it'll be kind of mushed into one. However, later down the line, I just answered a question just like this, kind of, or where I'm about to go into. You can create your schedule based around that. So you can create your schedule around the co-op and the and your schoolwork. So it all works out. But with internships, that's more so like during a break, I'd say, as like during the summer, like I know a lot of us right now are trying to apply for internships and just get some experience.
Excellent. And I believe a lot of co-ops end up turning into full-time positions, correct? Correct. Excellent.
Yes, a lot of them do. Yeah, I know a lot of people down from where I'm from who've actually gotten a lot of jobs just from working a co-op.
Excellent. Are any of you doing the Engineering Plus MBA program? No. Mohammed, is that something you can speak to a little bit?
Sure. So we call it 4+1 MBA program. You finish your engineering in 4 years, and you immediately start by doing co-ops for some companies relative to MBA nature. And then in the 5th year, for the extra year, you take 30 credit hours of MBA, and that's how you get your MBA combined with your engineering. I have to say that while you're doing your undergraduate in engineering, you would take about 3 or 4 courses, I should say 3 courses, that they satisfy your human values and general education requirements, but they are aimed at preparing you for your MBA program. So that's a great program if you intend to go that way.
Excellent. Do we have any civil engineers tonight? No, I think they might have left. Okay. Do we know of any engineering students and graduates who are on the genetic industry path? If so, what kind of degree would they pursue?
I'm sorry, Chris, what path did you say?
Genetics industry.
Genetic industry. I would say that mostly would be related to the biomedical, but I let our biomedical engineering student to speak.
That's sort of a difficult question. Not sure what the genetics. I don't think we have a genetics engineering. Yes, and biomed would be the closest thing to that. So if you're interested in like cellular mechanisms and biochemistry, biomedical engineering would probably be which engineering you want to take and do in your undergrad. We don't take a lot of genetics classes. That's more of a biology department thing. We do more biochemistry in sort of looking at how we can do instrumentation to measure biological processes. That's sort of what biomed does. Genetic engineering, if that's what you're thinking of, I'm not sure we have specific classes for that, and I don't know if anyone else could add to that.
I would like to add that we have also very good relationship with Jackson Labs and activities, especially in research of our faculty. And also other courses related to genetics can also be found in programs of bioinformatics. So it really depends on kind of what your passion or what you're looking for. However, as I said, experiences also related to genetics industry and Jackson Labs and collaboration between academia and industry in this sense are already available.
Excellent. So let's see. What software and programming courses are part of the mechanical engineering programs? Because it's something you could add a minor in computer science.
I can answer that. So the base courses usually have MATLAB and CAD. I have a minor in robotics, so I had to take a C++ and a C+ course as well. I mean, in computer science, I think you also have to take other further programming classes, but mechanical engineering, as in general, does not have any in-depth programming classes.
Mohammed, would you like to add something about the certificate in AI?
Oh, yes, thank you. So yes, in regard to minors, there are many minors at the university you can join and take them. And computer science is one of them, but also in our college, College of Engineering and Computing, we offer a certificate and a minor in artificial intelligence. And of course, for that, you can take additional courses, programming, and several courses in artificial intelligence. So yes.
And actually, in that regard, let me also add something. So as Mohammed just said, as of April 1st, and it is not like a fool's prank, it is true, we have become the main college of engineering and computing. Of course, this is part of a big transition, which basically is aimed at enabling a natural bridge between engineering and computing at all levels. And of course, computing can be seen from the point of view of users. So not developing softwares, but applying it in various engineering disciplines, up to the other end of the spectrum, that is actually developing softwares and algorithms that then can enable discovery and technology in other fields. So as the students and Mohammed just said, we already have a lot of opportunities for minors or certificates, but as we move forward, the vision of the whole college is really to enable even more of these kind of individualized pathways.
Excellent. Here's I don't know if any of the students can answer this. What advice would you give to someone if they wanted to do sports and be in the engineering program? Is that something that can be done?
I can speak to that. Yes. In fact, I have personally had many students who have been in our teams in our sport and athletic department. So it's a matter of time management. If you can manage your time to get to your sport and get to your curriculum, engineering curriculum, yes. And in fact, our engineering students have been very successful at doing both.
Actually, I had the privilege to be recently at the award ceremony of our student athletes. And actually, it was incredible, the number of students who were in sports and having GPA is really extremely high. Of course, now I am talking about kind of college sports, but as Giacomo also was saying earlier, there are several opportunities also for recreational sports and everything in between. It really depends also what your goals are, what your time management is. But indeed, there are opportunities from recreational to kind of more professional.
I can add to that also. My high school friend is a freshman at UMaine right now studying mechanical engineering. And he is also on the UMaine track team and he performs great. I mean, I don't think they've actually started yet, but I used to run with him, so I know he's really fast. And on top of that, he's maintaining an excellent GPA and they like built his like practice schedule around his class schedule. So it all works out. It's really easy to handle both being on one of the sports teams and also being in engineering.
Excellent. All right, are any of the students involved in Honor College? And if they are, they can speak to it. If not, I don't know if Mohammed can say a few words.
I was in honors college for my first year. And the honors college is a great experience for people who want to hone in on a skill set that involves a lot of like research that is probably based on going to grad school or going to like post bachelor's. It helps because you do a lot of like writing and refining like writing skills, which are very helpful when doing research. It is, I know for our program in biomedical engineering, you have to take quite a lot of extra credits during some semesters. Some even being 21 credit hours a semester. So it is a lot of work. I did it the first year. Personally, I think it is a great program for refining your writing skills and sort of taking advantage of being able to work with a different department other than engineering. So that's sort of my take on it. I don't know if anyone else can add.
I just wanted to say that, maybe on this panel, we will not be able to answer or address all the questions from the perspective you would like to hear. And so, but this is also meant to be kind of a connector in a sense. We would be very happy to follow up with any of you who would like to know more about specific areas and connect you directly, for example, with the Honors College. So in other words, even if we may not have all the answers for you right now, we are here to help you get to those answers. And so please reach out to us also via email after this meeting, and we would be happy to follow up with you. And also, I know that some students are leaving, but again, this is an open format kind of session. So we keep going maybe for another 5-10 minutes if there are still questions. And then again, don't take this as the end of the story. It is just for us to connect with you. And we are looking forward to continue the conversation and help you in finding everything you need about UMaine and engineering.
Perfect. Excellent. Let's see. Somebody say what the first year is like in regards to labs. How much hands-on activities do you get to do that first freshman year?
Oh, I can pretty much go through that. For electrical engineering standpoint, you do quite a lot with hands-on. Like you're constantly working with just electronic components, such as like simple ones, such as like resistors, capacitors. Just learning about that, learning how to use a simple multimeter and also how to use a simple oscilloscope. So you're doing quite a lot of the basics. And for that, it's just, again, it's just intro to electrical engineering and computer engineering. So it's a lot of just the basics. but you do learn quite a lot through that, and just kind of the how everything kind of starts off and starts to work. You don't go fully in depth, but you begin to get the idea of this is actually how my computer runs. This is how my phone runs. There's a lot to that. So they are really helpful in teaching you how everything works. And they don't just go through like hands-on, they also go through the math side of it and say, this is the actual mathematic way of saying like how something works in series or in parallel. So you'll have TAs help you as well, who have literally taken the class a year before. So they'll know what they're doing, and your professor should be able to help you.
Excellent. Let's see.
And I have
what-
to,
oh,
Chris, I have to add that our curricula are very hands-on, and I have to tell you, every semester you have at least 1 or 2 courses that have some kind of hands-on components or lab. So I just wanted to add that.
Excellent. Let's see. Is it possible to do a study abroad?
I would say yes, but I'm gonna let more time to the students. In fact, some of our programs already have established programs with international universities. One of them is in mechanical engineering that has a relationship with a university in Spain. But yes, and we do encourage that. Anybody wants to jump in?
Again, I have looked into this as an electrical engineer. Like, I know a lot of my friends, like what you just said with mechanical engineering, a lot of my friends are going to Spain to study, but there also is a study abroad page, which will go through and say different universities that the school's company pairing up with, and it'll say which majors can go where. So it is kind of selective, but you do get a lot of good opportunities just to kind of see where you want to go. So.
Alrighty, excellent. Are there any co-curricular engineering clubs like robotics or Formula One SAE teams? Basically, can folks speak about the engineering related clubs on campus and the clubs that are not engineering related?
Yeah, I can actually go through that one, as that's something I'm part of. So there is a Formula One kind of club. It's called SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers. And that actually is just essentially a Formula One kind of format. So we have a Baja team. We also have just a Formula Speed team. And then there's also a Formula Rehab team, which is paired up with the just regular Formula Speed team. So that is something on campus, and that runs in Furlan. So if you ever come to campus, you can stop by and see them in a little garage that there is a chassis for the Baja team and then the Formula Speed team. And that's something we're currently working on as of right now. And then for robotics, there is that as well. That also runs, and they both run through the mechanical engineering department, but all that also runs through, that's all going to be in Furlan. So I'm part of both, and I highly recommend joining both. There's also the 3D printing club as well, as that's something that's really cool because it's open to all students. It doesn't matter what engineering program you're in, you can always join the 3D printing club, and we're happy to help you. No matter what questions you have, just ask us a question. We're happy to help.
We do have about 20 different clubs in the College of Engineering, and they manage and control their own operation, but at the same time we help them financially to go to national competitions and other events, or even if they need to buy something for their devices like robots or say cars, we help them. Some of these organizations are like robotics, robotics, SAE, Formula, Society of Women Engineers, Engineers Without Borders, and many others. So we welcome that opportunity for our students to get involved into other activities in addition to their academic activities for their major.
Excellent. I think we're winding down, folks. If you have any more, let's see. Do AP credits allow the bypassing of required courses? What kind of degree of freedom do students have to pick their first year courses?
So let me speak to that, then the students can jump in. Yes, we do accept AP credit. So if you have AP AB, that would be 4 credit hours of your calculus 1. If you have BC, that would be calculus 1 and calculus 2, and you don't have to take them at the University of Maine if your grade is 3 and above. Of course, in the College of Engineering, we recommend that you have grade of 4 or 5. We also accept AP Chemistry, AP other courses, and transfer courses that you might have taken at other universities and community colleges if they are transferable. So I would recommend that you send your information and ask other organization to provide the University of Maine with your transfer courses, AP your transfer and or your transfer courses.
Excellent. We have one quick, well, 2 quick ones come in. What is the average GPA of an engineering student at graduation?
Average what?
GPA of a graduating engineering student.
Well, that's a good question. I personally have not calculated that. But, I would say I can't say anything, but because I have not done it, but I don't know, maybe some of our students can jump in.
I mean, I would say that it would have to be higher than like 2.5 because I'm pretty sure you need at least 2.5 to 3 to stay in engineering, right? Something like that. So I mean, that's the minimum, but I'm pretty sure it should be pretty high.
Yeah.
You caught us off guard. So we will do the math and so then we will know. Thank you for your question.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, but the minimum, first of all, the minimum GPA for graduating from University of Maine is 2.0. Also in engineering, in order to graduate, your GPA has to be 2.0 and above. In other words, you cannot have a GPA of in engineering lower than 2, but have GPA in non-engineering above 3 and balance it out and meet the university requirement. No, we calculate your GPA in engineering courses and they should be above 2.5. But your question is, what is the average? We have not calculated. Hopefully we will calculate that next time. If you have a question, if you ask the question, we have the answer for you.
And
Excellent.
Chris, there is the question about visiting the engineering departments and the Accepted Students Day. So we had those dates in the slides.
Yes, we have a date.
Yes, yeah. So let me just say it quickly. The next one is April 22nd, which is a Saturday. So if you have not seen our campus, if you have not been here yet, please join us. And even if you have seen it, please come because you're going to become more familiar with your major. If you cannot make it on April 22nd, we do have extended engineering tours on April 14th, April 21st, which is the day before April 22nd, and also April 28th. Go to the University of Maine admission webpage or just type in University of Maine or UMaine extended engineering tour, and you will be placed at that center. So, and then because we show you not only the Fairland Engineering Education Center, but we have a center which is called Advanced Structure and Composite Center. I believe Joanna mentioned that. but that is unique, not just nationally, internationally. You will not find such a facility in United States and anywhere. It is only unique to us, and our engineers, our faculty were the ones who printed the largest 3D printed boat in the world, and also creating bio homes. You might not have heard of it. And if you come to our tour, you will see them for yourself. And each year, about 200 students, our students who are engineering will work in that facility as co-op, and they get paid for it.
And let me tap into that answer, because I think it relates also to one of the questions that I see about what can we do to calm down if one is nervous about getting to college. So I think that coming and visit and see the college, I think it really may help. Also, I think, but this is my experience, so I would be interested also in what the students have to say. I don't think that the same college will give the same experience to everyone. You know, we are all different, and there are people who like more of a kind of quiet, path, others that really enjoy the interaction with others, others that really like to be, kind of stimulated, either with activities that are within the curriculum, or maybe in a lab, or maybe extracurricular like clubs or sports. So what I think, but again, it is my perspective, I think it is important to have several options available so that one can find his or her own dimension, and also having people that can guide you through that if you are not sure, or having advising centers, tutoring centers, so that you can find your way. I personally believe that college is very exciting, because it is not only what you learn in the classroom, but also all the experiences that you have around it. And again, if you have not seen, for example, the Advanced Structure and Composite Center that Mohammed was just mentioning, I think that it would be really a missed opportunity not to see it in your visit to campus, because it is really a record-breaking facility, not only for the things that have been done, like for example the bioprinted home or the boat, but also the way in which students and faculty and professional engineers and high school students can really work together, contributing with their own skills to actually build something to break frontiers, and so anyway, in my opinion, to be a welcoming college, a place should offer various options and various opportunities for people to find their own way, and I think that the University of Maine does that.
Excellent. I think we're getting to the tail end here. This might be a good one for Mohammed. Can NHTI running start credits be transferred to the University of Maine? That's New Hampshire Technical Institute, I think.
Okay, so for that, go to, just type in UMaine Main Street. Main Street is M-A-I-N-E Street, one word. When you go to that web page, on the left-hand side column, there is a link to equivalency table. And when you go over there, it tells you where do you want to transfer your courses to and from what university or what college. So once you selected that, it lists all courses from the institution that are equivalent to University of Maine courses. So therefore, if it's a New Hampshire Technical College or community college, you can see whether the course that you have taken transferred to University of Maine or not. And if it shows over there, then you are all set. If it doesn't show there, it doesn't mean that your course is not acceptable. It just means that we haven't had any courses transfer from that institution, and we don't have any experience with that. So what would happen in that case, we'll still accept your course if your grade is C or higher, but we put 1xx or 2xx. 1 and 2 shows the level, whether it's a first year or second year or third year course. But XX means that we don't have a knowledge. Then we ask our students to transfer or communicate, give us the curriculum or the course description and the textbook that they use for that course. We do evaluation, we do evaluate their course. And if it's a good course and transferable, we will accept it. So that is how the process works. So I recommend you to go to Main Street and look at the table, please.
Posted that chart or that.
And again, if you have any question, you can always send me an email. It's Musavi, musavi@main.edu.
Actually, Mohammed, Chris put our contacts in the chat, so you have them there. So as we said, feel free to reach out for any specific question that we were not able to answer.
Excellent. So I think that's the end of the questions we have written. If anybody wants a last minute one, now's your chance. I think that's good for tonight.
Okay, I just put my email in the chat, please.
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
Thank you all so much for coming and for joining us. Thank you to the students who joined us and shared their experiences. Looking forward to seeing you here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.